cheese is one of the many products we owe to bacteria. They are responsible for the formation and texture of cheese, for giving cheeses their distinctive tastes, and often even for making holes in them. Just like in canning, preserving, and bread making, cleanliness is important in cheese making as well. The process of cheese making will provide an ideal environment for friendly bacteria to ripen your milk. Being sure your environment is clean will help the cultures stay strong, happy, and healthy without having to compete against unwanted bacteria. Primitive forms of cheese have been made since humans started domesticating animals. Milk from cows and presumably from other animals was used for cheese making. No one knows exactly who made the first cheese, but according to one ancient legend, it was made accidentally by an Arabian merchant crossing the desert. The merchant had put his drinking milk in a pouch made from a sheep's stomach. The natural renin in the lining of the pouch, along with heat from the sun, caused the milk to coagulate and then separate into curds and whey. At nightfall, the whey satisfied the merchant's thirst, and the curds or cheese, which had a delightful flavor, satisfied his hunger. From its birthplace in the Middle East, cheese making spread as far as England with the expansion of the Roman Empire. Different varieties appeared largely as a result of accidental changes or modifications in one or more steps of the cheese-making process. Because there was little understanding of the microbiology and chemistry involved, these changes were difficult to duplicate. Cheese-making was an art, and the process was a closely guarded secret that was passed down from one generation to the next. What's required for making hard cheeses? Here's a list of what you will need to make a hard cheese. Whole milk. The more fat content, the more cheese you get. 2 gallons of milk will get you about 2 wheels of cheese. Rennet is needed to separate the curds and whey. I recommend liquid animal rennet. It's much easier to use and measure than the tablet rennet. Cultures. You will need a culture to ripen and flavor the cheese you want to make. Without it, you will have a basic white cheese. A lot of places tell you to buy cheese salt. It's a flaked salt and melts easy. Store-bought milk is homogenized and it affects the calcium in the process. Double boiler. You don't want to put milk directly on the heat. A double boiler is needed to prevent scalding. Your pot should also be large enough to hold 2 gallons of milk. Cheese press. You will need to press your cheese. Cheese molds. I'm talking about a container to shape your cheese. Cheesecloth. This is not what you are thinking. That white mesh you can buy in the grocery store labeled cheesecloth is worthless in cheese making. What you need is called butter muslin, a fine woven reusable cloth, cotton cloth, like t-shirt material before. It works fine. Cheese wax. Some cheese age for several months to years. To keep the cheese from drying out, you wax it. Don't try to wax your cheese with paraffin wax. It's not the same and won't work well. get its holes. This is because of the many air bubbles inside the cheese, which are not visible from the outside. During the aging process, the lactic acid breaks down and there is a buildup of CO2. The gas cannot escape through the rind that has formed. The pressure builds up and bursts, creating holes. So well, what do you think of our story? Would you like to eat a slice of your own cheese? Any desire for a handmade home cheese?